I was working in Santa Barbara. I was an art director at North American Aviation at that time. And I can see the handwriting on the wall. I can see the computer was making inroads into the art field. Well, for better, for worse, I didn't think I was going to be that medium on a computer. So I started thinking, well, what can I do? And I retired from the advert, and I started playing with paper. And it all started with egg cartons. Mm-hmm. It had that compressed paper. Mm-hmm. And I thought, that's an interesting medium because I can, bend it, twist it. I mean, I took a long way between the egg crates until I got to where I finally was doing art. Mm-hmm. And so that was the very beginning of my paper sculpture. Some years ago, I lived in Santa Barbara, and I had my first one-man show of the stuff that we call paper sculpture. And I had 22 pieces at that show. And one lady that attended it, she suggested that I send my work to Sunday Morning. And I was familiar with the show, but I thought, gee, why would they want to see my work, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I did send them some little photographs of the art. And a few days later, I sent it to the attention of, at the time, Charles, what was his name? Kurault, thank you. He was the moderator on the show at that time. He in turn sent my request to Ken Sable. He's the producer of the show. And he contacted me a few days later, and he said, I got the picture, but I can't see the detail. He asked me how I did this and that and that. I said, well, I told him it was all done with paper. He seemed interested in that. He asked me to send him an original. I said, that'd be kind of difficult. These things are really big, and they're in acrylic box frames. At which time he said, well, he says, have them photographed, and then send me some, which I did. And a few days later, this guy, Ken Sable at CBS, this is how he contacted me.
So those are the very first ones, huh?
That is correct, yeah. An interesting thing I'd like to point out is the one on the wall, the one I call Paper Tiger. And then they closed with the full frame screen with Paper Tiger. So, yeah, that was one of my favorites. Paper Tiger.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Of late, I'm doing a lot of things with paper, and once again, paper byproduct. I kind of like that medium. It really makes your mind think. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you think you have to be a little bit of an engineer. I did go to a real art school much later than normal, when people normally go. Okay. I think I was 21 when I went to, it was a, what do they call those schools? A 2-year school, a community college. Mm-hmm. And I majored in advertising design. And so that was my thrust. When I got out of art school, I started working in agencies. And I was like an assistant art director for a couple of years. But I was very fortunate to work at some major agencies. Then the lure of California took over. And I didn't like those winters. I just could not handle them. So I came out here when I was a young man. Uh-huh. I drove I didn't know a soul out here. Didn't know a soul. And I was able to connect. I didn't know I was going to stay out here, incidentally. But I was able to connect with some people who told me that there was a new place opening up in the valley, and I don't know, well, what's the valley? Yeah. It was all foreign to me. I applied for a job, got it the same day, worked a few days later. The best part about that, I met my wife to be about 6 months later. Oh. Yeah, so we had 62 years, and she just passed away a few months ago. But her spirit does live.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
It really does live. So. Anyhow, in a nutshell, is the beginning, the middle, and the end. No, I take that back. The end is nowhere near. Yes. Not as long as you still.
It's like Winston Churchill says. this is not, it was about the war, but he said, this is not the end. It's not even the beginning of the end, but perhaps it is the end of the beginning.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I
that's
like that.
fabulous.
So that's a nice thing for us older guys. You know?
Yeah. He's always been one of my idols. And it just so happens his birth date is the day after mine.
Oh.
So, yeah, I've always admired Winston Churchill. I was very happy. I've had I guess, a wonderful career. I'm still happy to do what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've probably got another, what, 17 years or so left?
Who knows?
That's 100.
Sure.
Yeah, as long as the heart's pumping. So like I say, very lucky. Like most artists, you know, you're thankful for your hands. They don't shake. You know, so I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah.
So the scoring, would you like to show us the scoring?
Well, I got a little table back there in the den. That might be the best place to
Okay.
show that.
Okay.